So with that being said, let's go ahead and transition into 6 of the players that I think that you should keep an eye on from here on out. And starting strong with San Antonio Johnson quarterback Ty Hawkins, and what an unbelievable player this guy is. And if you follow any kind of San Antonio football, you definitely have heard his name before. He's a dual threat quarterback, and he put up insane numbers last year as a sophomore, and he's doing the exact same thing this year. He's the top-ranked quarterback in the class of 2025, and just through 5 games alone, he's thrown for 745 yards and 10 touchdowns, and has run for 375 yards and 9 touchdowns. And in a single game, like, this is worth pointing out, in a single game against San Antonio Roosevelt, he put up a total of 474 yards and 6 touchdowns. 3 through the air, 3 on the ground. That's absolutely insane. He is a true dual threat. We saw him at 7-on-7 this year, and he looked just as impressive, and he's currently committed to play in Fort Worth for the TCU Horned Frogs. What a get for Sonny Dykes, too. I mean,
I will never forget the first time that I saw Ty Hawkins play, because it was at the
Alamo Dome, right?
Classic last year in week 1, and me-ish, Step, and Gabe Brooks were all sitting there, and we're getting going, and it's like, okay, and it's like, whoa. Did that guy just make that throw?
Well, and he was a sophomore last year, too.
Whoa. Did he just make that run? Like,
yeah.
Who is this kid?
Right.
And then we found out it's a sophomore, and at that point, Gabe Brooks,
I was like, wasn't that when his 247 recruiting profile was created?
Oh, my God. He was just licking his lips.
That's
because
awesome.
It was like, man, this rocks. Ty Hawkins is our darling boy,
yes.
and he's something special.
Yes, definitely. Moving on down to Cibolo Steele, wide receiver Royal Capell, another junior. Going through this list, too, there's a lot of juniors. A lot of juniors on this list, a lot of young talent to keep your eye on. But again, he's a junior. Coach Sign says he's a smooth route runner, and he's just a tough one to bring down. Standing at 5'11", coming in at 180 pounds. He's got a good build and a good frame for a D1 receiver. I think he's got a breakaway speed and excels in yards after the catch. 30 catches for 374 yards and 2 touchdowns already on the season for this athlete. And he's got multiple Division I offers from programs like Oregon and Oklahoma and Baylor and Houston. Definitely a Division I Power 5 talent there in Royal Capell. Moving down on in the list, Converse Judson safety Myles Davis. Powers has him ranked as the 5th ranked safety in Texas and finished his junior year with 38 total tackles, 4 interceptions, and 6 pass breakups. He's a hard-hitting defensive back with an eye for the ball. He's really, really good at reading offense as well, and he's always in position to make a play. He runs track for Judson as well, so saying that he's fast is probably a little bit of an understatement. I think that he was a part of their 4x1 team that made it to state last year. So, again, very
he's
fast.
Got
speed for days. The senior's currently committed to play at Texas A&M, and he chose the Aggies over programs like Texas, TCU, and USC. So a big get for the school down the road for them. Keeping on with it,
the Mules.
Alamo Heights athlete Michael Terry III. So I don't know how much truth this has to it, but so according to Rivals
All
here,
right,
I trust Rivals, so
throw out
is
some shade.
No, I do trust this, but it just and it's more of a
it seems too good to be true.
It seems too good to be true kind of thing. But Rivals said he's played at least one down at most positions, right? So quarterback, running back, wide receiver, cornerback, safety, outside linebacker, kickoff return, punt return, and punting in general. So Rivals said he's played at least one down for all of these multiple positions. So, yeah, I put him as an athlete on here.
I was just going to say, and this is exactly why the term athlete is a thing.
Correct. And this is at like a larger school too. Like this is not at like a...
Alamo Heights is a 6A school.
Right, exactly. This is not like it's at the 3A, 2A level.
Yeah.
Like if he can play multiple positions on the field at a massive 6A program like Alamo Heights, yeah, he's got some athleticism to him. It looks like though he probably is leaning more towards playing wide receiver in college, but
But he's got options.
He's got options for sure. His numbers as a sophomore, again, junior, he's a junior. His numbers as a sophomore speak for themselves. He passed for 113 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air. He rushed for 768 yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground. And he also caught 33 passes for 449 yards and 7 touchdowns. So, again, those stats speak for themselves. He's got a bunch of Division I Power 5 offers like Baylor, Oregon, Oklahoma, TCU, and Duke. It'll be super exciting to see where this junior decides to go in a year or so. I've already mentioned him once, but let's go ahead and talk about him some more because he is just incredible. Cuero quarterback Mason Notaro. Cuero fans were, I'm sure, very, very excited to have this guy back on the offense this season. He's the commander-in-chief on the offensive side of the ball. Over 2,600 passing yards and 34 touchdowns through the air last season. 1,000 yards rushing and 18 touchdowns on the ground last season. Like, those were his full stats. That's insane.
That is crazy.
And he's also been lighting it up this year. Through 4.5 games, he's thrown for 919 yards and 11 touchdowns, and he's run for 296 yards and 3 touchdowns. So clearly no slowing down for the Cuero superstar there. And he's just been a huge part of this Cuero offensive attack. He returned this season as the leading passer and the leading rusher. No surprise there. And when you watch him play, he always just looks so poised, I feel like. I looked him up before the show, obviously, and I was looking at his huddle reel, and he just always looks so put together. Like, he's comfortable in the pocket. He's comfortable taking off on big runs. He's comfortable with making something out of nothing if the play does fall apart. Truly a very fun guy to watch. And, I mean, I don't think that he has any offers yet, or if he plans on playing at the next level. But I think any school that would get him would be maybe like a smaller FCS school or a Division II program. And that's just me speculating. But I mean, I think any program would be lucky to have this guy on their team because he's just fantastic. And then to round it all out, let's talk about Yoakum athlete Xzavier Barnett. He's a sophomore. Again, very, very young list that I've got going here, but it's worth talking about. He's been very impressive. He plays both at wide receiver and linebacker, and he's got an ideal frame at 6'3", 200 pounds, which is a huge advantage, I'd say, at the 3A level there. And there's a good chance he's probably the tallest guy on the field because a lot of his tape that I was watching, he was by far the tallest athlete on the field, again, at the 3A level. And he can be a downfield receiving threat as well as line up in the slot for short yardage gain. He's got 5-star potential. I think he's ranked as a 4-star right now, but definitely has that thing in him that could push him over the edge to eventually become that 5-star. He'll make some noise here in the next few years, I'm sure.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, he already holds an offer from Houston, too, as a sophomore, and I think that he got that last year, too. So that's really impressive. Those offers are probably going to keep rolling in here as Yoakum continues to do really well. And he's just like a standout on that team. So it's really hard to miss somebody like that. But really, really excited to see kind of what he does here in the next couple of years. He's still very young. So
Coach Robinson's really excited about him. They've got a big game against Hitchcock.
They do. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Huge district game against
That'll
Hitchcock. If you're looking for a game to go to and you're kind of down in that neck of the woods, I would be pulling up to that so quick.
Yeah, that'll be a tough test for him as well, I think, against a really strong Hitchcock team. So there you go. Players to watch